Hey guys, oh my God, I finally finished season 2 of The Bear. And first of all, y'all know how I feel about Jeremy Allen. Y'all know I love me some Carmi and I love me some Liv from Shameless. Season 1 was more chaos. It was the introduction of characters. They all had to work together in this high-paced kitchen. They were butting heads. They didn't really know each other yet, but they had to work together. And then you find out that Carmi, who's played by Jeremy Allen, you find out that, his dad used to own this sandwich shop in Chicago, and it was passed down to his older brother, Mikey, who's played by Jon Bernthal. And then Mikey, dies by suicide and leaves the sandwich shop to Carmi. Carmi went off to school. He's like a culinary genius. He's worked in all these fancy restaurants, 5-star restaurants, Michelin stars, all the things. But he has to come back to Chicago to his mom and pop's sandwich shop and take care of the business and honestly fix the business, because Mikey, things were messed up financially. Things were messed up. At the end of season 1, they found all that money that Mikey left behind that he was saving to open up a restaurant with Carmi, because that was kind of like the deal or what they decided last season, but obviously it didn't work out. So he left all this money for Carmi. So they closed down the original Beef. Now they're working on opening The Bear. The Bear is gonna be like top-notch restaurant, fine dining, all the things. So the whole series is basically them trying to, move past these obstacles so that they can successfully launch this restaurant with this amazing food. But what I really liked about this season 2 is that it took a deeper dive and focused more on the individual players of the cast, okay? The first episode opens with Lionel Boyce. He plays Marcus in The Bear. It opens with him visiting his mom in the hospital. She's obviously really, really sick. So we didn't see that before. So you kind of see that element and what he may be going through. They really allowed us to see more of Ayo Edebiri. We learned more about her story. We learned that her mother died at a young age, and we learned about her relationship with her father, who was played by Robert Townsend. So we didn't see that before. So we kind of see the dynamic of her relationship with him, how he doesn't really understand her journey, how he doesn't understand that her passion for culinary and to be a chef and work in a restaurant, it doesn't pay much, so he doesn't really understand why she's so passionate about it. So you kind of see that there and learn a little bit more about who she is, okay? And then you also see Carmi, who's played by Jeremy Allen White. You see him trying to have a life outside of the restaurant. So he ends up reconnecting with this girl. He's trying to have a girlfriend and manage this shop, and you kind of see where that leads. Is he going to be able to make time for that? Does he have capacity for that? So that's going to play out in the series as well. One of my favorite takeaways from this season of The Bear was Richie's evolution. So Richie last season was just a mess. He was just the guy. He was cousin who was always around. He had really no skill set. He was just kind of in the way. So I love the fact that on season 2, Carmi sent him, to shadow at some restaurant or something. And, he was basically on fork duty, which he had to clean the forks literally all day for a week until he was promoted up. But during that process, he learned what his passion is. And he also learned, I think he got a little bit more confident within himself. He started wearing suits. They had him put on a suit because they're like, oh, you're gonna be the host, and you're gonna greet, you're gonna greet customers. You're gonna make them feel good, make them feel welcoming. And that's where Richie really shines. He's a people person, he's good at hosting. So he had on the suit, and then he just started wearing the suit all the time. Even when he went back to The Bear, he was like, I wear suits now. And let's get into the most controversial, craziest episode of the season. Obviously, it's episode 6. It really shines a light on Carmi's family dynamic. After you watch that episode, which is chaos, it is literally the uncut gems of I don't know. It's giving uncut gems. And when I say that, I mean, chaos, anxiety, yelling, cursing, drama. Like, that episode was crazy. So basically the episode was like a Christmas dinner. We meet Carmi's mom, who's played by Jamie Lee Curtis, legend, you know, and she's a mess because she lost her husband. And then the siblings are like, who's gonna take care of mom? Who's gonna make sure mom's okay? Because she's losing it. She's sad, she's grieving, and she feels like nobody loves her and appreciates her. So that is happening at this dinner. And then you have Carmi's older brother, Mikey, who inherited the sandwich shop, died by suicide, handed it down to Carmi. He's played by Jon Bernthal. Y'all, I love Jon Bernthal so much. I loved him since he was Shane and Walking Dead, okay? So we see him more because he's not really in the series like that, but we see him this entire episode. So we kind of see like the dynamic between him and Carmi. There was some sort of falling out between them. He stopped answering Carmi's phone calls. He wouldn't let Carmi come and work in the sandwich shop anymore. So there was that tension at the Christmas dinner. I think the reason why Mikey may have cut Carmi off and not let him come home and work at the sandwich shop and stuff is because I think he knew Carmi was meant for more. And he knew that if Carmi didn't go off and become the culinary genius that he is and work in those restaurants and meet those people and have those life experiences, if he didn't go do that, he would be stuck living like a similar life that Mikey was living. Mikey was addicted to drugs. He was messing up the money at the sandwich shop. So I personally think that was Mikey really showing his love for Carmi, but he didn't verbalize that. So Carmi just thought Mikey just cut him off, wouldn't answer his phone calls, didn't want him to help with the business. You know, Carmi took that personally. So I think that was just a miscommunication between them. And there was this one really vulnerable moment where Carmi pulled Mikey off to the side and showed him, like, I guess, a blueprint of what their restaurant together would be like. So that was a really kind of a touching moment because we do know that Mikey ends up dying by suicide, but in that moment, both Carmi and Mikey were teared up. After they had the conversation, Carmi left. Mikey like starts crying, and I'm assuming he starts crying because he knows he's not gonna be there for that restaurant, and that saddens him because he knows he's not gonna live to see that. Oh my God, it was just a crazy episode, but it really made sense. Like, okay, this is where Carmi comes from. This is where he comes from. This makes a lot of sense. This is chaos. And it really is like that fucked up family dinner. You know what I mean? Where people are arguing, a fork was thrown at somebody, people are cussing each other out, But that episode really was like the episode. Honestly, if you don't watch anything else, watch episode 6. If you don't plan to watch the whole series, watch episode 6 at least. I mean, it is like the best thing, one of the best things. The writing, everything. Like, to me, it was kind of reminiscent. It felt kind of like Succession in a way, the way that it was written, the way that there's chaos, the way that there's like the verbal attacks, you know. But it made a lot of sense. When I think about The Bear and I think about season 1 and specifically season 2, I think about family. I think they really wanted to hone in on, this is a family, and the people in this family have their families, and this is the dynamic with their families. So that's why they have this dynamic with the Bear family, because of where they come from, and they have different experiences, and they've had different trauma and grief and all this stuff. So I really like this season of The Bear. It really felt like family. They all were still learning each other. They were supporting each other. You know, there were those arguments and you know, little fallouts and stuff like that, but at the end of the day, they were family. They were family, you know, and family argues and family falls out. And then you gotta show up at Christmas dinner and you gotta be family again. You know, you can't escape your family, you know, and that was a running thread through this entire season. All in all, The Bear is just great. It's great. It's great writing. It's great cinematography. The shots are amazing. The way they hone in on the faces and the emotions from the cast is out of this world. It's just raw, and it's heartfelt, and it's real, and it's authentic. So yeah, if you watched season 2 of The Bear, comment down below. Let me know what you thought. Oh, make sure you subscribe, okay? And like this video, and put on your notifications too. You heard what I said. Make sure you like this video, leave me a comment below, subscribe, and turn on the notifications so you can see what I'm watching next.